Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at Nothing Meal.
Nothing meal, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this new ready-to-drink meal that's getting a lot of attention lately.
Lots of buzz going around.
Lots of buzz. And we've actually got a pretty good stack of sources for this one. We've got the founder's LinkedIn profile, their pitch deck, a profile on Unicorns Club,
Okay.
a company website, and a summary article from...
Wow, so we've got quite a bit to dig into here.
We do. So we're going to try and separate, the hype from reality.
Separate the wheat from the chaff.
Exactly. And by the end, hopefully you'll have a better idea of whether or not, this is something that's worth paying attention to.
Is this the future of food, or is this another flash in the pan?
Right. So I think a great place to start with these deep dives is with the founder.
Yeah?
So we've got Andrei Bogomazov.
All right.
And his LinkedIn profile is pretty interesting.
What jumps out at you?
Well, he's not like a food scientist. He's not a nutritionist.
Okay.
His background is in software engineering.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he's worked at places like Cyberhaven and Wix.
So that's not what you would typically think of when you're thinking about, someone coming into the food industry.
Right.
But if you think about it from the perspective of, well, he understands how to build systems, he understands how to build scalable things, maybe that's the angle he's coming from.
Yeah, like a very personalized sort of tech-enabled food experience.
Exactly. Maybe he's thinking, this isn't just a meal replacement. This is like disrupting how we think about consuming food.
And it looks like he's been interested in, disrupting the food world for a while because his LinkedIn also lists Rest Hunter.
Rest what?
Rest Hunter. It looks like a personalized mobile app for finding restaurants and pre-ordering meals.
So there is some food interest in his background.
Yeah. So clearly interested in food, interested in tech. Let's move on over to the pitch deck.
Okay, let's see how this vision takes shape.
So this is where we get into, like the nitty-gritty of what Nothing Meal is. It's being positioned as a ready-to-drink meal. Shelf-stable, packed with protein, vitamins. But there's this interesting addition to the formula, nootropics.
Oh, so they're going for that consumer who wants a little bit more than just basic sustenance.
Right, like cognitive enhancement.
Yeah.
But, obviously nootropics are kind of a controversial thing in terms of how effective they are, whether or not they're actually safe.
Yeah, the science is still out on that one.
Yeah, but clearly they are trying to market this product to people who are looking to optimize.
Who are they targeting specifically?
Busy professionals, people who want to boost brain, people who want to save time. They've got this kind of like bold tagline that says 100x engineers eat nothing.
Okay, that's certainly attention grabbing.
Yeah. I mean, are they intentionally creating a niche product like for this specific subculture?
It makes you wonder.
It does make you wonder. Okay, so let's get into the science behind the product a little bit.
All right, I'm intrigued.
In the pitch deck, they really emphasize their what they call next-gen protein, and they claim that it outperforms plant-based alternative.
Outperforms them in what way?
In terms of its amino acid score and its digestibility.
Okay, so they're saying that not only is it a complete protein, but it's also easy to digest.
Exactly. But, that raises a lot of questions like, what exactly is this next-gen protein?
Yeah.
Is it a novel ingredient? Is it some new processing technique?
Right.
Or is it just clever marketing?
Yeah, the pitch deck is a little light on details there.
Yeah. All right. So their business model is subscription-based.
Makes sense. Trying to build that habit, making it a daily ritual.
Right. But is that the right fit for this product? I mean, we all know about subscription fatigue, right?
Yeah.
What if people get tired of drinking the same thing every day?
That is the potential downside of the subscription model, right? You get that recurring revenue, you build some brand loyalty, but, if it doesn't live up to the hype, then people are going to churn. And it doesn't seem like they're offering a lot of variety.
Not yet. But here's another thing that's really interesting. They're proposing to distribute this product through vending machines.
Vending machines.
Vending machines.
Like you'd see in an office building.
Yeah.
That's bold.
It is bold.
I mean, cutting out the traditional retail channels, right?
Right.
Going straight to the consumer.
Put it right where those busy professionals are.
That really leans into that need for speed and accessibility.
Right. But how do they ensure freshness?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
How do they ensure proper storage in a vending machine environment? Can they actually reach a wide enough audience with that approach?
Lots of logistical challenges there.
Yeah. All right, well, let's shift gears a little bit and get a little bit of a reality check. We can turn to Unicorns Club, which is a platform for startups who are seeking investors.
So this will give us a sense of their traction and how they're perceived in the investment world.
Exactly. So according to their profile, they are pre-seed, valued at $0, and they have 26 subscribers.
26?
Yeah, so very early in their journey.
Okay. That puts some of those, ambitious claims into perspective.
Right, they've got a long way to go.
A long way to go.
In terms of their target market, 80% North America, 20% Western Europe.
So focusing on those regions with fast-paced work cultures.
Exactly. And, lots of tech-savvy folks.
Makes sense. Target your ideal customer.
Right. And their profile says that they're seeking pre-seed funding to expand marketing, product development,
Right.
and grow their team.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of investors they attract.
Yeah.
Because that could really shape the direction of the company.
It could. Okay. So let's move on to their online presence.
All right.
And check out their website.
Let's see what kind of world they've created.
So visually, it's very sleek, modern, very, tech forward.
It's almost like, a high-end gadget company website.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is very intentional. They're associating themselves with innovation. Sophistication. And appealing to that consumer who values cutting-edge technology.
Yeah, if you're going to spend, top dollar on a ready-to-drink meal, it better look cool.
And the messaging really reinforces that. It's all about boosting brains, staying fit. It's the future that doesn't taste like punishment.
They're playing into that, desire for self-improvement.
Yeah. And they're really emphasizing how superior their protein is.
Compared to
plant-based alternatives. It's avoiding the brain fog of sugar crashes.
Okay.
So they're really positioning themselves as a premium product with noticeable benefits. But is it enough to justify a higher price point?
Well, and that's the thing. The pitch deck mentions a price point of $3.09.
Okay.
But the website doesn't mention pricing at all.
So what do you make of that?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. Maybe they're still figuring things out.
Right.
Or maybe this is, a deliberate strategy to pique curiosity, make people reach out for more information.
Yeah. Or maybe it's dynamic pricing.
Could be, based on subscription length or, other factors. It's also possible the information in that pitch deck is just outdated.
That's a good point. I mean, that pitch deck is from September 2024.
Right.
And this website capture is more recent.
So it's possible the price has gone up.
It's possible, yeah. And this is why it's so important to have, multiple sources.
It's like we're detectives, piecing together a puzzle.
Right, because we can start to see where the inconsistencies are, where the gaps are in the narrative.
And hopefully by the end of this, we'll have a clearer picture.
Exactly. So why don't we take a break there, and we'll come back and we'll unpack the rest of the sources.
It's amazing how something that seems so simple, like a ready-to-drink meal, can raise so many questions.
I know, right? And we're not even done yet. We still have that summary article to get through.
Right. Let's see if this gives us a little bit more of a big picture view.
Yeah.
Maybe highlight some inconsistencies or things that we need to look into a little bit more.
Okay, so the article basically kind of hits all the same beats that we've already discussed.
Okay.
Targeting busy professionals. This focus on nutrition and cognitive enhancement. The unique distribution strategy.
Right.
And, the fact that they're an early stage startup with some pretty ambitious goals.
Okay.
But one thing that I thought was interesting is that the article also touches on the potential sustainability of this next-gen protein.
Okay.
So they're basically speculating, is this a truly novel, scalable solution?
Wow.
Or is it just a marketing buzzword?
Because we've seen a lot of hype around food tech over the last few years.
Yeah.
And not all of it's panned out.
Not all of it has. And the article also raises this question of long-term health effects.
Which is important, right?
Yeah.
Because they talk about, boosting your brain function, avoiding sugar crashes.
Yeah, right.
But what are the potential downsides? Could there be unintended consequences, if you are relying on this product for your daily nutrition?
Right. And then there's also this, kind of ethical dimension, that we talked about a little bit before.
Yes.
The potential for exclusivity and this widening gap between, people who have access to these kinds of optimization tools and those who don't.
Kind of makes you wonder if this is contributing to this culture of hyper productivity, and performance enhancement.
Right.
Which, that could be detrimental in the long run.
It could be, yeah. So, we've looked at all the sources now. What really stands out to you?
I think for me, it's that contrast, between their really ambitious vision
Yeah.
and their current reality. I mean, they're a pre-seed startup. They have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
They've created this really compelling narrative, but there's still a lot of unknowns.
And a lack of transparency
Yeah.
about certain things, like we still don't know about the ingredients, the pricing.
It makes you wonder if they're intentionally being vague or if they're still figuring things out themselves.
I mean, that's a great question for our listeners, right? Is this a product that you could see yourself using?
You know, what are your needs?
Yeah.
What are your priorities? Are you that busy professional that they're targeting?
Right.
Do you value convenience? Do you value cognitive enhancement? Would you pay a premium for something that, claims to be superior nutritionally?
Even though there are some unanswered questions.
Even though there are some unanswered questions.
What are your biggest concerns? I mean, are you skeptical about some of the claims that they're making?
Yeah, I mean, a healthy dose of skepticism is always a good thing when it comes to new products.
Right.
Do your research.
Right.
Read reviews. And maybe, wait for more information to come out.
Yeah.
More independent studies, perhaps, before making a decision.
Yeah. So we've covered a lot of ground today, but we do want to leave you with a final thought. So given this really intense focus on this, 100x engineer niche,
Yeah.
and this limited production, is Nothing Meal intentionally creating an exclusive community?
That is an interesting strategy, isn't it? Target a smaller, more highly engaged audience.
Right.
And you can kind of build that brand loyalty, generate a lot of buzz.
But could this be a stepping stone to broader market appeal?
Well, maybe. Maybe they'll pivot eventually. Maybe they're happy with their little niche.
Maybe they're going to be the go-to meal solution for, a certain set of, high achievers.
The chosen few.
Right. Only time will tell. But we want to know what you think. So head over to our website, our socials.
Yeah.
Share your insights. Is Nothing Meal just hype? Or is it the future of food?
We want to hear your thoughts because the deep dive continues with you.
And, remember, the most important takeaway is to stay curious.
Keep questioning.
Never stop exploring. We've gone through the founder, the pitch deck, we saw their financials, checked out the website, and even read a summary article. But like with all good deep dives, it's the stuff that we don't know, the unanswered questions that stick with you.
Right. Those gaps in knowledge that really get the wheels turning.
Mm-hmm.
And with this Nothing Meal, there are some big gaps that I think we need to talk about.
Yeah. So let's just address the elephant in the room. The mystery ingredient, the next-gen protein. What is it?
Yeah, they're being pretty vague about that. Is it some kind of proprietary blend?
Yeah.
A lab-grown protein? Maybe a GMO superfood?
Right. And since they're not telling us, it makes it really hard to figure out if what they're claiming is actually true.
Exactly. And that brings up the whole issue of regulation. I mean, food tech is changing so fast.
Yeah.
But the rules and regulations, they don't always keep up.
No, you don't.
So what kind of oversight is there for these brand new ingredients?
Right. And as consumers, we should be asking these questions, right?
Yeah.
Because, we don't know the long-term health effects. They're saying all this stuff about boosting brain function and no sugar crashes. But are there downsides?
I mean, what if you only drink Nothing Meal
Right.
every single day? What happens then?
Could there be unintended consequences? You need a balanced diet. And you need variety.
Exactly. This isn't about just one ingredient. It's about the whole picture of your health.
Okay, and going back to something we touched on earlier, there's the whole ethical side of this too. Like they're making this product that's exclusive. It might not be accessible to everyone. And that gap between the people who can optimize themselves with stuff like this and those who can't, it just gets bigger.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like, oh, here's another cool technology, but only for the privileged few.
Yeah. And are we just feeding into this obsession with productivity and cognitive enhancement that could actually lead to burnout? How much pressure are we putting on ourselves to perform?
It's a slippery slope.
It is. It's like we open up this can of worms or like Pandora's box, and all these questions just keep coming out.
But that's what's so great about thinking critically, right? We're not just accepting everything we hear. We're digging deeper, pushing back, and looking at the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. So we'll leave you with this. What do you think about all of this? About the transparency, about the regulations, about the long-term effects of products like this? What does it mean for our relationship with food, with technology, with how we try to improve ourselves? Keep thinking about it.
Yeah. And let us know what you think, because these deep dives, they're not just about us. They're about all of us.
Exactly. We're all in this together. So stay curious out there.
step up your game, join the unicorns flow. Making it rain, nothing ever enough. Invest in the future, watch it all blow up.